Hello Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Master of Orion, Conquer the Stars, in our Return of the Terrible Terrans series. So, we have a couple of things to talk about. First of all, this is my first time sitting down to record for Terrible Terrans. Actually, if you happen to be watching both the Polish Winter, yes, that one, and this series, then you might have already heard me say this today, but I am just now getting back from my holiday away, and you might not have realized that I went anywhere, but I did in fact go home for a few days, and so I recorded some stuff in advance. This is my first new recording session in a few days, and got lots of really good comments. Lots of really good comments while I was away, and I think I have finally figured out, we're going to spend the first few minutes of this episode going through blueprints. I figured out what was really from the very beginning, not just of this series, but of all of my Master of Orion playing experience, I figured out what was really throwing me off with the ship customization system. And it's something that I kind of started to figure out in the episodes before this one, but now it's been confirmed by other comments, and obviously I'm still going to try and find my way through it. I'm not going to say that I've like sat down and had an extensive study session and figured everything out before this episode, but I now have an understanding of one very basic fact, which is that you can control the facings of the weapons that you put on your ship. I never noticed that. I saw that there were facings, but I thought that the facings were encoded to the weapon, and I never realized that you could say, no, I want this one to fire forward, and I never realized that when you had a weapon set to take up all facings, it actually takes up more space on the ship, thus potentially lowering the attack power of the ships. So we're going to go through each blueprint in my arsenal. We're going to completely clear it. We're going to, well, we're not going to clear it of its specials, but we're going to clear it of its weapons, and we're going to rebuild it from the ground up. So the frigate has battle pods right now. I could also add the Dauntless Guidance system to the frigate, but I'm not sure I necessarily want to do that. I mean, it takes up 4 space, and I do want the frigate to kind of be a missile boat, because the frigates, if you remember in the very beginning, had missiles, and they did a lot of damage with them, so why not kind of go further with that? Yeah, let's try it. Let's add Dauntless Guidance, just so that if I have a bunch of frigates, they can really... Actually, no. Frigates... It was that sentence that made me change my mind. Frigates are not going to be a mainstay of the force, so I'd rather have them, when they're there, I'd rather have them just do the maximum possible damage, and then we're going to retire them. So, first, let's see. All right, if I set this to point defense, I can have mass drivers as point defense weapons. And notice how the production cost goes down and the space used goes down when I have that turned on. Big difference. So modifiers is also something I'm finally going to be playing with in the next couple of minutes. So I'm sure a few of you, or a lot of you, are breathing a sigh of relief. Again, I'm sure I'm not going to get it perfect, but that's not the point. That's never the point on my channel. The point is to learn, and the point is to have fun. So let's go with mass drivers, or with mass drivers for point defense. Let's go with 4. And then if we pop in here, I then want to make this just a pure missile boat. So let's see, we have a heavy armor modifier, an ECCM modifier, a fast, I like the idea of fast missiles, and then MIRVs, which apparently these are super OP and messed up right now, or maybe not, maybe they're underpowered, I'm not sure, but I would rather not exploit anything right now. That really seems cool though, the split missile into 4 warheads, that just seems insane. We're going to go with fast, just for the sake of, again, not being stupid. Let's go ahead and just go with 3 Merculite missiles, and then can we maybe have anti-missile rockets on board, just as a means for the frigates to defend themselves. See, now the frigate's attack power is actually 10, which is higher than before. So let's go ahead and save that, and that's 1. Now we're going to go to the destroyer. I wanted to do this with you guys. I was tempted. Well, no, I wasn't tempted. I thought about doing it before the episode and then just like kind of showing you the blueprints, but I thought I would give you guys the satisfaction of seeing me actually do it, and that way if some of you are still learning, maybe actually seeing me do it would be more helpful anyway. So let's, again, we're going to just completely dismantle the destroyer and make decisions on this thing's, come on now, this thing's outfittings from the ground up. Okay. All right. So this thing has battle pods. Now, do we want the destroyer to have missiles? It hasn't had missiles up to this point. I kind of want to stick to that. But also, do we want to have reinforced hull? Doesn't take up any space. As I hit my keyboard. It does, however, add to the production cost of the ship. But I kind of want to have these things. Actually, that makes me think about adding them back to the frigate as well. But we'll go back to that in just a moment. So we've got a reinforced hull and we've got heavy armor. Okay, this is extra production cost, but it doesn't change the amount of space that we have on the ship, which is very, very important. So we've just made our ship better without using up any space points whatsoever. So now let's go ahead. Somehow we still left our nuclear bomb on there. Go away. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm also going to go with mass drivers for point defense here. Let's stick with that. And let's crank it up to 6. And then also we do want to have bombs. So let's see. Maybe 3 nuclear bombs on each destroyer, and then we might tune that down in just a second, but for now let's go with nuclear bombs. Now, proton torpedoes we've recently added. These are torpedoes, so they can't home on anything, but they're super powerful, and I kind of like the idea of letting destroyers have 1 proton torpedo. They don't I don't know how much space they take up. A lot of space. Okay, so if I did just 1, hang on. Enveloping. You can surround the target on impact, dealing massive damage to shields. Fast. I like the idea of a fast proton torpedo because these things are already... You want them to hit their target as soon as possible. Oh, nice. Semi-guided. Limited homing capacity. Production costs increase 50%. Size increase 25%. So I could either have them faster or have them slightly guided. I'd rather have them slightly guided, frankly. All right, so let's just add 1 proton torpedo to destroyers. And now, let's see, what would be the next best thing to add? Looks like missiles might actually be one of the most powerful weapons. No, graviton cannon is the most powerful by far. If we add that, now the destroyer's attack power is 11. Not much more than the frigate. What if we were to, tell you what if we were to do away with one of those bombs? In favor of adding a second graviton cannon. All right, so destroyers have 2 bombs on them, and then 1 proton torpedo and 2 graviton cannons, and then 6 mass drivers for point defense. Now, if I were to maybe tick that down 2 notches, is there anything else that I could do? I couldn't add another bomb. Could I add another proton torpedo? No, definitely not. Okay, there's really... Okay, that seems to make sense. Let's go ahead and save that. Space limit... Wait, what? What? No, it doesn't. What are you talking about? 137.5. It's a perfect match. Oh, that's stupid. It's telling me that, okay, we'll tell you what, we'll reduce that. Okay, that's ridiculous. All right, we lowered our point defense a little bit. All right, now this cruiser, we're also going to edit. Now, the cruiser has some missiles, but notice that the cruiser currently has no dauntless guidance system, so we're probably going to start thinking about that. Again, let's completely dismantle this thing to get started. We're going to renovate our ships going into this episode. They're going to be entirely different. Well, they might actually end up being the same, but... Okay, let's go ahead and add reinforced hull. We can't forget to do this to the frigate as well. Heavy armor. And dauntless guidance. Dauntless guidance. And then we want, again, mass drivers for point defense. Did I turn on the point defense modifier for destroyers? I'll have to check. Alright, let's do... We definitely want cruisers to be able to defend themselves, so let's have them do more than either of the other 2 ships. Let's have them 8 mass drivers set up for point defense. Yeah. Okay, that's a start. And then we do want the cruisers to be able to bomb. So why don't we stick with the destroyer weapon capacity and just go with 2 bombs. And then here, let's see, fusion beams and graviton cannons. Let's see. I kind of want to have, because I gave them Dauntless Guidance, like I definitely want to have some missiles on here. Maybe some anti-missile rockets, first of all. Let's do that. And are there any cool modifiers I could use? No, none. What about for the bombs? Nope, none. Okay, now I could give it proton torpedoes, and we can have them semi-guided. So this way it has 4, facing the front, proton torpedo ports. Powerful. Why don't I just have it have 3? That puts the attack power up to 14. And now let's give it some missiles to flesh out the rest, because we should have plenty of room here. So let's see. Don't want to use MIRVs. I like the idea of fast missiles. Yeah, let's go with the fast missiles. And looks like 3 missiles is where we're going to go. And the attack is now 23, down from 32. So maybe a reduction in anti-missile rockets and an increase in the number of missiles. Now it's at 27. What about a downgrade in point defense? Okay, not quite enough. Could I potentially have... No, can't. The other option is I could turn off the modifier, right? And I could have additional damage that way. There we go. So if I turn off the modifiers, they're not quite as cool, but those proton torpedoes are still going to do plenty of damage. So I can lean on the proton torpedoes to have their modified abilities. Okay, we're going to save that. Let me jump back to the frigate. And we're going to install the reinforced hull and the heavy armor. And you guys can tell me. Let me know if this is overkill. If having the reinforced hull and heavy armor on every ship isn't in any way bad. I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't be, other than the fact that it would take longer to produce these ships. I mean, that's a big thing, but at the same time, seems like a sensible way to do it. All right, and then battleships. There's definitely something I need to correct on battleships, because I put a Dauntless Guidance system on, as was pointed out by a commenter. Thank you for this. And totally forgot to put any missiles on the ship. So again, we're going to completely dismantle this thing. Clear? Clear. Actually, is there a way just... There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. That's much better. All right. It's a lot faster. Okay, so starting with point defense, let's again go with mass drivers, because that seems to be the game's kind of preference, and I haven't seen any reason not to. We'll go with 8, just to give it a higher than normal amount of point defense. And that way, all of my ships will have a say in the point defense of the fleet as weapons are inbound. Also, anti-missile rockets. Probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and queue it up with 4. Now, I do want the battleships to be able to bomb, so let's give them 4 nuclear bombs. And then, let's see, what beyond that? We definitely want missiles, lots of missiles. Maybe modify these? Maybe have the battleships be... Choices. See, this is what I didn't know about. I didn't know that this was an actual... that you could change things here. Notice how much more space they take up when they're facing front, or facing any versus facing front. So, all right, let's see here. We definitely need graviton cannon. Continuous fire. Increasingly more precise the longer they fire on the same target. I like that, but it increases the size substantially. Autofire weapons have greatly reduced cooldown at the expense of reduced accuracy. Heavy mount beam weapons are large platform versions that cause more than the normal amount of damage. That sounds fun. So we could have a heavy mount graviton cannon facing front. Yeah, let's do that. That seems like a sensible thing. What's the attack power right now? The attack power is actually only 9, so we need to have some heavy weapons. We need missiles, absolutely. So let's go ahead and go with fast missiles, and let's see how many we can rack up here. All right, 10 Merculite missiles that way. Oh my god, look at the attack power on this thing, just jump up. Okay, we still have plenty of room too. So I could have proton torpedoes modified to be semi-guided. Holy mother of god, this thing's going to be a beast. 103 attack power. I actually didn't look at what its attack power was beforehand, but now this thing is more of a force to be reckoned with. So let's go ahead and save that battleship as well. And now we have more effectively customized all of our ships. It's taken 15 minutes, but this is something that we really could have been doing throughout the entire series. And for those of you watching who are newer to Master of Orion, I hope that was helpful as kind of a primer on just the basic way to do some modifications and things. I'm still learning this as well. I've been playing Master of Orion a bunch on the channel, but you can watch some of my co-op series with Mal. One of the things I have just been terrible at is customizing my ships, because I trusted the auto upgrade system to handle it for me, and that was my problem, in addition to not knowing about the facings. So anyway, let us jump back in here, and it's going to take a while to get the ships converted to these new systems. For instance, yeah, these upgrades are going to be expensive, unfortunately. You know, making all of these ships as awesome as we have just, as awesome as they need to be. But we might be able to just straight up rebuild a number of them as a means to replace our fleet, and then we will see where we go from there. So we have an artificial gas planet about to finish construction, then we're going to send this, or an artificial gas planet, a planet being artificially constructed out of a gas giant. That's a much better way to put that. By this space factory right here, then we're going to send that space factory over to... actually, no, they're already done with Alpha Ceti, so we need to colonize that. Where's the next gas giant? Is there one? There really isn't one, is there? I mean, if we manage to colonize Sonans, which we very well might... Okay, tell you what, let's go to the next turn and see what happens. Because we have just colonized Geneve, happened at the end of the last episode. The Trilarians are going to hate us now. Like, they're probably going to declare war on us, to be completely honest. Alpha Ceti 2 has grown. Wonderful news. Let's go ahead. We've got a colony ship one turn away in Alpha Ceti 2. Almost said Alpha Ceti Prime. That is not Alpha Ceti Prime. Toxic processor completed at 2-Ray Prime. Does that mean 2-Ray Prime is now... Oh, okay. They must have just needed a pollution protection building. Okay. So, tell you what. Build a holo simulator, because we have a striking population there, and we need to do away with that issue. Okay. I'm gonna break from my normal choice here. Normally I'd pick Asteroid University. I'm gonna go with Espionage Training Facility, so that we can have some better spies. Because we are the Terran Khanate, after all. We need to be wily. Alright, let's go with Antimatter Fission here, so that we can have better... this will miniaturize our bombs, and also will give us faster drives. And if you've been watching my content for a while, you know I'm all about the faster drives. Yeah, see, this is going to give us interplanetary administration, the interplanetary security network, and the advanced colony ship. So, that's tempting, but we're going to stick to our guns and go with that other choice first. All right, this space factory is done. Yeah, we're going to send you straight to Sonans. If we can potentially colonize this before they do, that's yet another system that we will have locked down, no problem. Okay, let's go ahead and move our ships back together so we have a single fleet. That way, if anyone tries any shenanigans, we are well protected. Now, yeah, the upgrade cost is tremendous now. I can go ahead and upgrade one of the frigates, which is nice. Okay, this is finished. Now, what do I need done in Sarti? We've got a pretty nice jump gate network set up already. Let's see. That's already been being condensed into a planet. Okay, let's just send them to the asteroid lab there and maybe condense that into a planet. Go to the next turn. Colony ship has arrived at 2-Ray 4. Good. Let's hop over there and go ahead and colonize that. It's going to be a barren world. I think it's high gravity too, so this is going to be a little bit of a chore to work with. I don't think I'm going to replace those ships. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to dismantle them and rebuild them. I think we're at a point where the economy will blow up the way it did in Trilarian Trickery, and I can just use my money to upgrade that way. Okay, I'm going to put that population in production. We definitely need gravity generators here, but we don't quite have the means for them yet. So let's go ahead and queue up some of the basic production buildings first. Then the gravity generators. Yeah, it's a high gravity world. So that's going to take some effort. All right, we have our colony ship done here. Let me go ahead and build a planetary radiation shield around Alpha Ceti 2, because I've been encouraged to build more shields. So that my planets are protected against the marauding Antarans. So far, the Antarans haven't given me trouble, but that could totally be a fluke, and they could come back and really, really give me a run for my money, and I prefer not to experience that. All right, I'm going to build a holo simulator here, so that striking population won't be an issue pretty soon. Let's go ahead and just send this colony ship right here. As much as I would like to colonize some of those outer planets, I think it's important to continue building up some of the core worlds that are at the very back of our territory as a guarantee that we are a productive and opulent empire. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so yeah, we're going to put you in production. Let's go ahead with hydroponic farm, biospheres, government support, colonial revenue. Okay, in that order. We'll come back and do research later. Okay, we need to build a military outpost here. It's going to take 4 turns. 1 turn away with this military outpost here. That's very good. We've got a lot of space factories at work right now, more than we did in Trilarian Trickery, which is nice. We've set up a lot of... Oh, what are you up to? We've got a Terran fleet hanging out here. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that, Terrans. You want to explain yourself? Okay, now... Let me see. I think we needed a jump gate set up here, right? So let me go ahead and start building that so that we have a means to get up here quickly. Meanwhile, here, I'm going to go ahead and set up a starbase. Because this is an area where if they were to come marauding through and try and come, you know, through the layer system and go different directions, this is one potential area where they could try and jump through. So I'll probably build one here in Ceti and in Glai, because these are kind of outer systems. I haven't really set them up with defenses yet, so they could fall pretty easily. If I'm being totally candid, they could definitely fall. Lepus Prime has grown. Okay, let's put one of those population in food and go to the next turn. We are 1 turn away from antimatter fission, so we're going to have... Oh, nice, 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 nice. All right, let's go ahead and continue reducing salary of our leaders. Make them a little cheaper. Choose research. Okay, so now we either get the antimatter bomb or the ion pulse beam. Let's go ahead and go for the antimatter bomb, I think. Bigger bombs. That seems like the choice that the Terran Khanate would make. Okay, now, this time I'm going to pay attention to this. This is going to reduce production points by 2. It's going to up travel speed. This is really just changing the engine and changing the anti-missile rockets. So, yeah, upgrade that. Okay, why did it remove 1? That's what I'd like to know. Let's have a closer look here and see why it removed one of those. Why did auto upgrade just screw me? Okay, because like apparently the new engine takes up a little more room, maybe? That's unfortunate. I don't like that. Okay, so... There we go. Okay, that upgrade just went through smoothly. This one's going to do the same. I can't imagine how nice it is to see me paying such closer attention to this process. I mean, now that I understand it, it's, or at least now that I understand it better, is what I should say. It's easier to wrap my head around some of these basics. All right, let's go ahead and go with, let's go with advanced government, because I do want access to that advanced colony ship sooner than later. We can upgrade this frigate. Let's upgrade some troop transports as well with better ships. With better engines, rather. Okay, and then T-Ray Prime needs what exactly? I mean, I could build another cruiser. Hell, I could build another battleship. Let's build another battleship. I actually don't think we have a battleship yet, do we? Hang on. Our biggest ship over here is a cruiser, I think. Yeah, we don't have a battleship yet. Let's build a battleship. And on that note, we are 25 minutes into this episode, and I have been... The past couple of episodes ran a little bit long just because I was having so much fun, but I do want to make sure we're staying on time. Don't kill me. I know. I just don't want anyone to get used to this whole longer than 25-minute thing, because I can't realistically do longer than 25 minutes per episode if I'm going to do 2 time slots a day every week. So please understand. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one here. But thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes in this series air daily at 3 Eastern Time. This is a wildcard series, so don't forget to check out the regular content daily at noon and 6. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.